and just false doctrines and false preachers. There are those people who have titles, which some people have put to question. Someone will call themselves a bishop, and maybe they do not have, we don't see them having a church, being part of a church like the Anglican, or one of the more established ones. Now, there are those who even call themselves prophets, apostle. And it does not sit right with some people. Maybe I'll take it to you. What's your view on that?
I'm not a bishop, I'm not a prophet, but the question you're asking is a serious question. One of the most lucrative business in Kenya today is a church. You can open a church, you can dress up the way you want. In some of the regulated church, quote unquote, for you to have a collar, it's a whole process. The way you robe, everything tends to be regulated. But today, even within the churches like the ones we come from, which are regulated, there's a lot of rebellion around that you can't structure me, you can't control me. And that's why Kamenchu earlier talked about the code of conduct. We participated, created it, yet it has never been signed today, because churches, bringing churches together to sign the code of conduct and say all of us will be regulated by this becomes very, very a big problem.
And this was in what, 2019?
Yeah, 2019.
Exactly.
Yes. We even did a Hesabika summit, trying to talk about church and politics and how church should regulate itself. It has become a big challenge. And let's accept that the church is failing in its mandate to regulate itself. So it is sad that somebody can rise up, call themselves all manner of things. That's why I argued earlier. Mackenzie is not just the Mackenzie in Malindi. There are many other Mackenzies that we tell. As I was coming here, somebody told me that a friend's wife who was working with a certain bank went missing. Then he was found in one of the cities. We have very few cities, so you can imagine. One of the cities, and went to a certain church. If you came to All Saints Cathedral and you're somebody's wife, and you're coming there in the name of religion, I'll call your husband. If not your husband, I'll call the police, because I need to help you to go back home. God is not honored when we break families, when we break communities in the name of religion. That is not Christianity. And that's where cultism now comes, that there's somebody controlling them. And so now that wife today is uncontrollable. Either you'll say, God has told me, and when you start hearing people saying, God has told me, hello, God talks to all of us. Why do you behave like you have the monopoly of God's knowledge, that he keeps talking to you alone? So it is very sad, and that's why, to me, if the church cannot regulate itself, the government must protect its people. We can't allow, in the name of religion, people taking advantage. And that's why earlier again, Mwangi, I had said, churches thrive because politicians support it, and the vice versa as well. How do you explain a prophet somewhere is protected by the government, given security, and even the roads are cleaned by the followers? I'm saying that because it is in public domain.
Yes.
And the government is watching, and sometimes when such churches have conferences here or open air meetings, you see children who traveled at night with their mothers and their fathers, and they are in Uhuru Park for an entire week. They are not in school, yet such people, the government cannot come in and say this is criminal. At least we must protect. Is it
the lack of the will on the government's part, or because they can't really pin down how to...
Well, we can argue it in many ways, but the government benefits from such a confused church, unfortunately, and also the church also thrives on a compromised government.
I think